is very different than yesterday's daily Bible thought, which was very different than the day before that. The reason I say this is because for several weeks we were in Genesis chapters 1, 2, and 3, and somehow that continuity was really cool. So that may happen again soon, but for now, it's just verses that God brings to mind as he brings them to mind. And today's is Deuteronomy 31:6. And if you've never read the Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, anyway, those historical books are so important. Now, is everything that's included them, the things that men and women and all the people did, are those all things God's like, yes, let's do that? No, it's historical. It's showing you the way people were, what people did, but it's more than that. It's showing as God reveals himself to people, how he moves them forward, how he draws them to himself. But there's a lot of hard stuff in them. Anyway, read it for yourself. For now, Deuteronomy 31:6 is really meaningful to me because it's when Moses was passing the leadership to Joshua. And Joshua was going to take the people into the promised land. Moses wasn't going to get it go. That's another story. But Moses was encouraging Joshua and the people because Moses was telling them God would be with them. And so here's a really powerful verse. And this is not just for them, but for us to remember too. So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not panic before them. For the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. Now that is a promise for the Jews of that time, for the promised land and for his chosen people. But it's also a promise that Jesus says that he'll never leave us or forsake us, even to the end of forever. That's Matthew 28. But this part, so be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid and don't panic before them. They knew they were going to face enemies. They knew they were going to face real difficulty. And God's saying, don't panic. Don't freak out. I'm going to go before you, not me. God's going to go before them. God's going to go before us. And there's some things we're facing coming up that are really hard. But God's going to go before us. So I don't have to panic. I don't have to be afraid. And neither do you. Because he will never, ever, he'll neither leave you, fail you, nor abandon you. None of those things. He'll never fail you or abandon you or me. So we can trust him.